Today we're going on a field trip outside because the hills are alive. Well, we don't have any hills here in Illinois, but the sun is out, things are starting to bloom, and my winter self is defrosting. So what better excuse to get me outside and to tackle my to-do list for my front porch and my deck to get them summer ready. A huge thank you to Free Cash for sponsoring this video and helping me bring you all these ideas. We're going to make it all look like we tried super hard without spending a ton and without the hassle.
Who doesn't love beautiful flowers outside their home? It makes everything look put together, but in this season of life, I forget to water them and they start to look like this. So we're going to do a hybrid model this year, and I have to share this hack with you of how I'm going to avoid that this year, hopefully. You're going to need a pot, and I went to Walmart and got some new ones because we didn't have the size that I wanted, but you could easily use something you already have on hand. Another tip, definitely look at Costco or Sam's Club if you're a member, because these huge ones right here in the front were only $11.99. They're on sale right now. Whatever pot you choose, you're going to want to start by weighing it down because what we're doing is not going to be super heavy. I just used some different paver bricks we had left over. Then you're going to need some pool noodles. This has been a hack all over the internet for the past couple years, and I had to try it to see if it was actually as easy as other creators make it look. You're going to take your pool noodle. I used 3, but I bought 4 just to be safe, but I only needed 3. And you're going to cut pieces of the pool noodle so that it sits on top of those pavers just under the lip of your pot. And here is what that's going to look like. Then you're going to find some faux florals that look really good together, bunched up. These are from Amazon. I saw another creator use them in a different DIY, and I thought these could be perfect. And I like that there are 2 tones of color. You're going to fluff them and put them in the openings of the pool noodles. You're going to have to do a little bit of finagling, but once I messed with it enough, I love how these turned out. Not only are they super realistic, but they are so low maintenance. If these are going to be out in the sun at your house, you can spray them with a UV protectant spray. I love that they move naturally in the breeze like regular flowers, and this hack is also great for inside your house. I am doing these hydrangeas in this beautiful faux wicker basket that I found at Menards. This was $29 and some change, and I'm going to move this in and out to our deck when we entertain this summer. And this hack definitely gets the Whit stamp of approval. I had some neighbors even ask me when I planted these flowers. When? I always think that houses with uplighting make them look more expensive and put together, and I always thought, yes, that was going to be expensive to make it look expensive. Not necessarily. You can grab solar lights from literally anywhere. I got mine at Menards, but you just want to make sure they're not too cheapy, and also that you're going to have a white light option, because some of them that they sell are multicolor like these, so make sure you check that. I grabbed 3 of these little stake lights that you can put into your mulch, into your yard, and do uplighting. I did 2 on our tree, 1 on our bush, and these look so nice at night. It's just a small touch that makes it look so much better. Nothing sends me out quite like the sound of moving water and birds chirping. It's so nice to have your coffee. My boys love these at Menards, but I do not want a bald eagle in my yard, let alone a $200 one. So I went to Walmart instead and grabbed a $25 pot, and I also grabbed a cheap piece of 1/2-inch copper pipe. I got this really inexpensive, like $8 aquarium pump off of Amazon. I will have it linked down below. And then I put my pipe over that little piece from the aquarium pump because it's going to fit with the 1/2-inch pipe. And I'm using a pipe cutter to cut it down to where I want. All you have to do is pop it on where you want it, give it a little twisty twist, and it's going to cut it for you. You don't need any arm strength. Anybody can do this. This was the first time I had ever used one, so super easy. Then my waterproof tape didn't arrive that I was going to use to attach it, so my husband was like, try this caulk, and this worked out great. You can also use like a Flex Seal tape, whatever waterproof adhesive you either have on hand to save you money, or you could go this route as well. Wipe off the excess. I let it dry for a couple hours, and then it was time to assemble. I put my pump on the bottom and surrounded it by rocks. You can either purchase these or use some you have on hand. Once you have the rocks all covered, fill it up with water and fire it up. If you have an uneven area, you can use paver bricks to keep everything sitting flat, and to hide that power cord, I'm just using a 1-inch paddle bit, making a hole and sliding my plug right through there so it's less noticeable. Not only did this save me a ton of money versus buying a water fixture, but I also like that I can move it wherever I want. I made it in one area, I moved it to another, and this is going to be great this summer without breaking the bank.
Nothing's going to kill that zen and all the work you just did more than a mosquito buzzing in your ear. So what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself some mosquito dunks. I will link them down below. I get mine on Amazon. They're little discs. You're going to pop them into the water, and it helps neutralize, so you're not going to have a fountain that turns really quickly into mosquito breeding ground. Now, the whole point of me sharing these projects with you today is to get you an outdoor space that you love with literally spending way less time and money than people think you did on it. Some of the ways that I do that, obviously shopping sales, checking prices, but I've got a lot of other ways that I help offset project costs. One of them is using Free Cash. It's a free platform where you can earn real money doing things you're probably already doing. Playing mobile games, shopping online, completing surveys, and trying out apps. If you're like me, you're probably skeptical and you're thinking, Whitney, how does this even work? Well, you sign up, you pick an offer in the platform, and right now I'm playing Royal Kingdom, but there are a ton of different games or other offer types depending on what you're into. You play, you hit milestones, and your balance builds within the platform. Through my research, I learned that they are a trusted app. They've got 4.7 star average on Trustpilot, and their threshold to pay out is low, only $25. You can withdraw the things like PayPal and gift cards through the cash out button at the bottom. Be sure to enable app tracking when it prompts you, and if you skip that, your progress won't register and you won't get credited properly. If you make an in-app purchase to speed up your progress, you can earn cash back on those too. And also be aware that if you're in another country, your interface might look a little different than mine, but the functionality is all the same. Free Cash wants to help you get a jumpstart on your outdoor projects as well. So head to the link in the description, my top pinned comment, or you can even scan this QR code. Head over there, sign up for free, claim your first offer, and then you'll get a $10 bonus, which that puts you nearly halfway to your first cash out. And that $10 is going to cover these, which are a must-have from Amazon for me for outdoor decorating. They are vinyl siding clips. Let me show you how easy they are to use. They're a game changer. As you come out our back door, we've got this nice open wall here, and I've always wanted to hang something, but I didn't want to put holes in our siding, so these clips are the best. You can take stuff down, you can move it around, you don't have to make any permanent holes, and that's great for me who likes to switch my decor around a lot. So it's got this little groove. All you're gonna do is pop it underneath where your siding meets, and then you've got a hook. When you're done, it comes right out, no damage.
There are tons of different uses for these all around your house. Not only are they great for your decor out by your deck or pool, but they're also great for your front porch. You can put a sign, you can hang wreaths, you can hang house numbers. And the other great thing is it holds a decent amount of weight. So sometimes I've put like the boys' swim trunks on there to dry. So get yourself a pack of these and you will find so many ways to use it. Something else I found recently that I wanted to share with my craft buddies are these outdoor area mats. They're 6x9, they're at Costco, and they are selling for $19.99. We're going to forego the more expensive quote unquote aesthetic rug out by our pool because we don't need that. We're just going to put the black ones down. They're going to protect, your feet won't get too hot, they're weatherproof, and it will also act as a rug for us, but it will help us save. The next couple ways that we are saving with some outdoor DIYs are A, planting a garden to help grow some of our produce, and B, to help grow that produce, we got a rain barrel. My husband made this and he wanted to harness all of the rain we've been getting here in Illinois so far instead of having to pay the city for more water to water the garden. So it is a pretty simple process. I don't have him making it because he just went ahead and did it. He didn't think, oh, Whitney might want this for her channel. So we are going to just kind of walk through how he did it. He got this Brute trash can from Home Depot. He also got a spout and this diverter kit for the gutter. What you're going to do is follow the instructions on the diverter kit, and this one's great because you can turn that little knob to be fully gutter, fully rain barrel, or half and half. So it's going to grab the water that is coming off of there and put it into the tub. Now the key here is you want to have a lid or some sort of mesh because it is going to protect it from it turning into a breeding ground for pests. We also took a couple cinder blocks and he put it up on there so that your spigot, you could fit your watering can underneath. And for the trash can, all you need to do is drill a hole in the lid for your diverter tube and drill a hole in the bottom to install your spout. All we do is let it fill up, and then if it gets full, you just change that diverter. He just did it early this spring, and we've had enough rain that the barrel has been full. Finn really loves getting water out of there and being able to help his dad water the plants. So I would definitely recommend. It's a upfront investment, but it's going to help you save on your water bill, especially if you use water in a ton of other ways like we do. It's a little way to save. Now I mentioned that garden. This is the most quintessential outdoor DIY I can possibly think of. My husband built some garden beds, and I have got garden beds, planter boxes, a ton of things that I have built for our backyard in years past that I will link down in the description for you. So if you're looking for more things like outdoor furniture, planter boxes, like I said, we've got some outdoor signage, a bunch of stuff. I will link that down below. Now, like I said, he is definitely a big gardener, so he's got netting and everything to keep all of his plants safe, but I would definitely recommend growing something as simple as tomatoes. That is something that I cannot personally kill. It's black thumb proof, and with the cost of everything going up nowadays, this is going to help us by growing some of our own stuff in our backyard instead of having to buy it every week. Last year we had really good luck planting wildflowers right here over the edge of our deck. It was nice because it gets enough sun. It sprouted a bunch of different things. Finn and I were able to make some awesome bouquets, and so between that and my peonies, it was awesome. So I wanted to do it again this year. Been seeing a lot of inspiration online telling me to purchase zinnias, cosmos, maybe marigolds. So I went to Menards and I picked out a ton of seed packets. I went for the ones that you can sow directly into the ground because the other one said you needed to start like 12 weeks ahead of time inside. And while my husband did a lot of that for our garden, that's a little too much for me. So we're going to start with the ones that we're just going to sow on the ground. So I wanted to include it in this video because I don't have beautiful blooms to share with you yet, but I will share them throughout the season. And if you want to come along on my cut flower journey with me and grow your own, I wanted to put it out there so you can get it on your radar now. So if you've got any gardening tips, let me know down below, especially like beginner gardening tips, because I'm getting better, but like my husband is definitely the bigger like gardener in our family.
This next one's really special because I'm making it for my cousin's bridal shower. The theme is love and bloom, and I wanted to include it in this video because not only do I get a ton of requests for wedding related DIYs, which this would be perfect for, but also this would be great if you entertain in the summer, if you have people over at your pool. It's a great welcome sign, or it's a great just general porch sign. So I'm going to make it with this planter that I found at Home Depot. It is a nice big and large one, but you don't need a planter. You can just build a box to whatever size you want, or you can grab whatever planter you want. So I'm going to use this big one because when the shower is over, I want to be able to take the lettering off and put potted plants in it. So let's get started.
The great thing about this sign is you can customize it to any size, whether you're doing an event, a wedding, or just for your porch. It's totally customizable. I wanted a large, substantial sign to be outdoor signage, so I went with this 2x4 sheet of plywood. I got 2 of them at a 1/2 inch. You can get cheaper sheets of plywood, but I liked this one because I knew I would have to do minimal sanding, which would save me time because I was on a time crunch for this. I also grabbed a 1x10x6 and a narrow utility hinge. I originally grabbed these black ones because Home Depot was out of gold, but then I found these at my local Ace Hardware. You're going to need 2 of those, and you don't need anything too crazy. I just thought the gold would look better for a wedding. I also grabbed some white cup hooks to coordinate with the sign because I was painting it white. I also am going to use some scrap 1x2 that I had in my garage. So you're going to need 4 pieces cut from your 1x10 board. Your first one is going to be the width of your board. So my plywood is 2 feet wide, so I cut a 24-inch piece of the 1x10. Up next, you're going to need your bottom board, which is going to coordinate with the thickness of your board. So these 1x boards are about 3/4 of an inch thick. So I am subtracting 1.5 inches from that front board to allot for my 2 side pieces. So I'm cutting that at 22.5. And then for my 2 sides, I am taking into account the fact that my original board nominally is between, it's like 9.5, sometimes 9.25, because a 1x10 isn't actually 10 inches across. Mine ended up being approximately 9.25, but what you're going to do is measure the width of your 1x10, and that's what you're going to cut it to match up. Then to assemble our box, we're doing our smaller long piece at the bottom, our 2 9.25s on each side, and then we are going to take our large 24-inch piece and go right across the front. I like to do it like this because then you don't see any of the seams from your other 3 sides. Also, while we've got our saw out, we are going to cut a 2-foot piece of 1x2. We're going to do 2 of those, 24 inches long, and that is going to help us assemble later. Now we're going to give everything a good sand, and the plywood hardly needed any sand. It saved me a ton of time, so it was worth the couple dollars that I spent on the nicer plywood, but you do you. Then I am going to add some wood glue and clamp down my 1x2 board and use some 1-inch brad nails to attach it. This could be optional, but I thought it gave a little extra oomph and stability to the top of the sign when we're going to add the hinges for it to open. Now this part is definitely optional. I was working my way through this as I was creating this plan for you guys, and I thought, okay, let's do some pocket holes at the bottom. I really didn't need them, and you'll see in a minute, but if you want to add the 3 pocket holes, you definitely can. Then we're going to assemble our box starting with our 22.5-inch piece, add our 2 side pieces with some wood glue and those brad nails. I switched over to 1.25 inch instead of 1 inch, and just be careful. I have nail pops sometimes too. It's no big deal. That was going to be hidden. We're going to repeat the same step on the other side with the other short side of the box, and then we're going to lay that flat down. We are going to add our 24-inch across our faceplate, add some more wood glue, and then use your brad nails across all around the corners to make that sit. There's going to be no weight that is going to be bared on the front piece, so the nails and the wood glue are totally fine. We're going to use some screws in our assembly step to make sure that whatever weight you put in the box isn't going to fall down. Then take that box and put it on the front side of one of your plywood pieces, and I took a level just to line everything up. I ended up deciding that I was going to use my big clamps, and that helped a ton because I added my wood glue, clamped them down, and I ended up using my pocket hole screws here. So I did 1.5-inch pocket hole screws because that's what I had on hand. It popped out the back a little bit, but that was easier to me than running to the store. So you can definitely get, shorter screws if you want, or just forego the pocket holes altogether, because what I ended up doing is with those clamps on, I was able to flip it over and then screw directly from the back. I grabbed 2.5-inch construction screws. You could also use 2-inch, and I'm screwing them with my power driver right through the plywood into that box. I did 3 to 4 on either side, and that is really going to help with the weight. I'm not planning on putting anything crazy heavy, but it's going to hold my planter. Then I decided to paint and seal everything before I assembled, just because it was a lot easier to get to the back side of the sign, but you could assemble and then paint and seal. I just feel like this is a lot easier to be able to lay it out flat like this. Then for our hinges, what I like to do is close them all the way, open them into a V, and then set that down. These are my 2 pieces face down. So the outside of the sign is facing down, and I'm going to screw a couple screws in, make sure my hinges are where I want them to be, and then you can open it back up and add the rest of your screws. Then that way you don't put, all your screws in and then you're like, dang it, I did it wrong. Then I'm going to take just a little drill bit and I'm going to do some pilot holes on either side of my box in the back and add 2 cup hooks. You just drill your hole and then use your hand to screw it in. Set up your sign for the width of A-frame that you're going for, and then screw 2 more pilot holes on the back side so that you could add 2 more cup hooks. And then I just got this shade. It was odd clearance. I think I got like 4 feet for 72 cents from my local Ace. So it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but the gold matched the hinges really well. And once I trimmed it with my wire cutters, then the sign was ready to go. My last step was to add the customization for the shower, but I made sure to add my faux florals first. These are from a mixture of Hobby Lobby and Michaels. I had a lot of them on hand before, but I made that box first, so then that way when I added the welcome, we're so glad you're here, it wasn't down too far and it was going to be covered by the flowers because I didn't want that. Then I used my hinge method to apply my decal both on the top and the bottom. And the reason I did it in this order is because now I can peel the letters off. They're sticking to the sealant, but you're going to be able to peel them off. So I'm going to leave the welcome at the top, but I might say welcome to our house. I might add a monogram, but this was such a hit and it was so great to direct people to the shower as well as to take pictures by it. A lot of people thought that these flowers were real, and I'm so glad I went with the fake because as you can see, it was a very windy day, and this made it so much easier because I wasn't worried about the real flowers blowing away. I just pushed these into some silk flower floral foam in the box, and we were good to go. One other floral DIY we did that was such a hit, I wanted to share a couple tips with you guys because I learned along the way, was a bloom or bouquet bar. I took a bunch of vases that I had at my house and we used these Trader Joe flowers. The trick, get them 1 to 2 days before, put them in some buckets. I got these small ones from Home Depot with water and flower food. I got them on a Friday, the shower was on a Saturday, and they opened up beautifully. Now I don't have any shots of anyone making bouquets because I was helping with this process, not getting footage, but it was such a hit. So many people loved it. Definitely do this at your next event.
I cannot wait to hear from you down in the comments what projects you love today, which ones you want to start, and if you've got any questions, as always, leave them down there. I love connecting with you guys. Also, while you're down there, check the description. I'll have more information about today's sponsor, Free Cash. To claim that free $10 bonus, what you're going to do is you're going to use that link, you're going to sign up for free, you're going to claim your first offer, and then they'll load a $10 bonus onto your account. Remember, that's going to cover those vinyl siding clips that we love so much over here at Whiskey and Whit. Be sure to check out Free Cash and start earning for simple things that you're probably already doing every single day. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up before you leave and hit subscribe if you're new so you don't miss a future video. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye!